Welcome back to Blind Item Breakdown. Oh, Dolly, don't let it be true. This blind item came out a few days before her passing, and it reads, this permanent A-list singer slash songwriter wants to have one final performance, but right now that just might not happen, and unfortunately it didn't. Now, I'm not denying that Dolly lived a very full and successful life, but damn, I just feel like we're in such a tough point in the world that we really could use some of Dolly's energy. Her spirit needs to live on. This person writes, there are a few famous people that I will mourn when they pass, but Dolly, it will be so sad. I grew up listening to her music, and she's actually one of the decent people in the business who's helped others. This person asks, aren't there reports that she's terminally ill? Sadly, at 80, any illness might be terminal. I hope she holds on. And actually, I was going to be posting a video this week about rumors of Dolly passing away. Actually, I have an email on the 24th where I was talking to my editor about it, and I can't believe that it came true. That is true. In addition, when one partner is in a long-term relationship dies, it's not unknown for the remaining partner to deteriorate quickly. And remember, she had the love of her life, Carl Dean, who lost his life in 2025. Dolly admitted that when Carl was sick, she decided to put all of her energy into him and healing him, and she wasn't paying attention to herself. So when he passed away and she started to take care of herself again, she realized that she had some really bad health issues that are irreversible. Dolly's had health issues before. She says, I think because we live in a 24/7 world with social media, everything gets magnified in ways that it wasn't years ago. I used to joke that I was the queen of tabloids, and now I guess I can say I'm the queen of social media AI. Oh no. I mean, Dolly's gone now, and I let's respect that. I don't think that we're prepared for an avatar or an AI version to just start appearing on our TV screens. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? The name Free Cash sounds almost too good to be true, so let me explain what it actually is and how it works. Free Cash is not a get-rich-quick app. It is a rewards platform where you can earn small rewards for trying out apps, games, surveys, and offers. And here's why that makes sense. Brands spend a lot of money trying to get people's attention. Usually that money goes into ads that we usually skip. Free Cash works differently. Instead of a brand paying for the ad, they can actually reward you for trying the offer. So whenever you open the app, you can go and browse different offers and see what looks interesting to you. For this demo, I'm using an unlocked account provided by the brand so you can see what it looks like after someone's been using it for a while. But the process stays the same. You pick an offer, you read the steps, you start it, and Free Cash tracks your progress as you go. Make sure you always read the requirements first because every offer is different, and make sure you allow app tracking on your device. That is how the app can send progress updates and how Free Cash knows when to reward you. Free Cash has real proof behind it. They have over 70 million registered users and over $300 million has been paid out. And of course, their 4.6 star Trustpilot rating. And once you reach the minimum payout, they can pay you out in various ways. PayPal, Venmo, gift cards, whatever works for you. And I've got a deal for you guys. You could check out Free Cash using my link below and you'll get a $10 bonus once you complete your first offer. Thank you, Free Cash, for sponsoring, and enjoy the rest of this video. It actually turns out that Dolly was in talks with a bunch of different partners to create this artificial version of herself, and I don't know how far they got into the process, but one of her last video messages almost seemed slightly AI.
I've told you before, all my fans, that I've had a few little health issues, and sometimes I get a little dizzy, and I get dehydrated, and I'm dehydrated. And so my national doctor has kind of clipped my wings, saying, you ain't traveling this week. So I guess if your doctor tells you you ain't traveling this week, you ain't traveling this week. But I like to keep all of you in the loop, like I said I would, on everything. So, all is going well on the medical end of things, and I continue working away on all of our other projects, like the Songteller Hotel and my Life of Mindy.
One thing about Dolly is that her team kept her busy. Till the day she died, they had her working, and I hope that that's something that she actually wanted to be doing.
Colors Museum here in Nashville, and my Broadway musical in New York, and that has taken a lot of time. But let's just say I've talked enough about me, don't you think? Eugene, won't you talk about me for a while? I'm just kidding. I do want you to tell everybody about our great new ride, Night Flight Expedition.
See, they got her, every video I see of her, it's a health update paired with some kind of announcements, like get your tickets now. Somebody writes that Dolly stayed dolled up no matter what. She was clearly struggling to breathe in this. Somebody quoted Dolly, "I'll see you down the road." She knew that this was her last speech. You could tell that this was her goodbye without telling us goodbye. She said, "My little butterfly wings are getting tired." And she grandma'd us. "I'm just tired, honey," somebody quoted Dolly. I do love Dolly Parton, and she actually sent me a book like about a year or so ago, a big coffee table book. She's always sending people books, so rest in peace to Dolly Parton. Our next blind item is about Zac Efron. He needs to stay away from the plastic surgeons. This blind item reads, this former singing Disney actor had the left side of his face paralyzed for about 2 weeks after a Botox injection hit a nerve in his face. I mean, really, Zachary Efron, just keep it together. What is up with these men getting all of this work done? I just don't think that anyone looks that attractive when they look like they have been tightened up and filled up and their jaw is just a bunch of filler. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Shout out to all the filled up baddies out there. This person reads, something about men getting Botox is so off-putting to me. I don't want to use the word pussy, but yeah, that word. Which, you know what? I've actually had my fair share of Botox and it really helps my headaches and my TMJ. So no hate when it comes to Botox. This person writes, just stay away from the soup until the face recovers. Another person writes, yeah, he's hitting the plastic surgery hard. Being a teen idol effed with him. Well, nowadays, Zac Efron is finding happiness in his extreme lives. I mean, you know, he's constantly doing something bizarre, whether he's building a hemp hut in Australia, or he's doing these crazy workouts, or maybe he's sometimes yachting, if you know what I mean. For years, Zac Efron was held up as the blueprint for the perfect male in Hollywood. Between the High School Musical days and the shredded physique and the endless internet obsession over his appearance, it seems like Zac has spent much of his adult life under a microscope. While Efron stays busy working, he's quietly building a new life in Australia. In a recent interview, he got candid about the extreme lengths that he would go to maintain his physique and his mental switch that he had made. The internet has dissected his appearance with brutal intensity, prompting widespread speculation about cosmetic procedures, which Zac Efron, Zachary. I mean, really? He keeps denying this. He claims that his changed appearance stems from serious injuries, which he does happen to get injured on these yachting trips. I don't know what they're doing on this damn yacht.
Zac Efron's life is allegedly in danger. Every once in a while, a blind item comes along that's so shocking it immediately grabs everyone's attention. And this latest rumor about Zac Efron is definitely one of those. A new blind item is claiming that Zac Efron's life is allegedly in danger, and it tries to connect whatever is supposedly happening with his health to Saudi film producer Mohammed Al-Turki. And before we go any further, I want to be clear, this is an unverified blind item. There is no public evidence that these claims are true, so this is just speculation. That being said, I think it's worth talking about why so many people are taking this seriously, because this rumor didn't just appear out of nowhere. If you've followed celebrity blind items for years, you'll probably recognize these two names together. There have been recurring rumors for a long time linking Zac and Mohammed Al-Turki. Then, back in June, another blind item claimed that Zac had supposedly moved out of the country to get away from Mohammed. Now this new blind item takes things even further, and you can see why people are connecting the dots.
Our next blind item is about Hailey Bieber. Bieber. This blind item reads, the A-list celebrity offspring takes so much time coordinating her paparazzi shots every single day that I'm not sure when she has time to do anything else. Now, the Biebers have been very quiet recently. I do kind of feel like it's the quiet before the storm, because there can't be that much peace in their lives right now. I mean, Justin Bieber looks miserable in every video and photo I see of him. He's over here smoking pot while his toddler is in his lap. There's something really unstable just about their dynamic, especially when Hailey has all this free time to go to Sushi Park and to wear these outfits and get her paparazzi pictures. This person writes, and Hailey needs time for what exactly? I can't. It's not just her. Basically, it's all of them. I'd be so embarrassed and afraid of the paparazzi outing me. I don't think she actually does do anything else, does she? And I do think there's some interesting drama in the Hailey sphere. I mean, actually, her sister was able to avoid jail time after she threw a used and dirty tampon at a bartender after she got drunk and threw up in their employees' only bathroom. You can't make it up. I've got a deep dive coming out about Hailey Bieber's sister. Let me know if you guys want that video in the comments below. Hailey was recently spotted with some paid paparazzis for a spontaneous promotional stunt for her Skylark headphones, which is part of Justin's brand. They're coming out with these wired headphones. I guess wired headphones are coming back in. And honestly, I was really late to the Airbud game, and I will never go back. I mean, you know how many times I've ripped the wires out and then your phone drops, and let's just not make that a trend, please. The wires are so uncomfortable. But as you guys can see in this video clip, Hailey is talking to her bodyguards. She's coordinating with the photographers, and she's trying to get them in the right spot so that her pictures are perfect. This person writes, it might be paid, but the B word knows how to put herself on the map. Game is game, and she is winning. Hailey Bieber has to be the most overrated, ignorant, and attention-seeking narcissist to ever exist. She has no career or talent. Calling the paparazzi is not a talent.
Huh? It could just be right here, yeah? Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Thank you. Sidewalk? Yeah, you got that. Thank you, Hailey. Have a good day.
Now, Hailey says she doesn't know these paparazzis. She just happens to know all their names and have them on speed dial. She claims that the spirit behind the paparazzi photos, it's very dark. I don't think that it's something that anyone would ask for. She says, so I think it's funny when people say online that she begs for these paparazzi photo shoots because she claims that she's trying to avoid them at all costs. I mean, a lot of these celebrities, you can tell whether they don't like the paparazzi or not because so many celebrities are good at not getting captured. Obviously, she, in this situation, I know exactly what shopping center that she was at when she got these photos taken. She went the long way. Like, there's stairways, there's elevators. She does not need to do laps around Sushi Park to get her photos taken. I mean, clearly she likes it.
How do you handle the pressure of being photographed for the world to see almost every single time you step outside?
It's really funny because I was thinking about this coming over here and they were like following me in the car, which is like, it happens all the time. Whatever, like, I know that's going to happen if I'm in LA. There's not very many ways to avoid it. They just sit at the bottom of like my street, so it is what it is. But I was driving and like sometimes when there's paparazzi following me, I have a flash in my head of like getting out with a baseball bat and literally destroying their car. Like I literally sometimes it makes me just so annoyed that I'm like, one of these days, I swear to God, I'm going to get out of the car with a fucking baseball bat and I'm going to like destroy their... This is a hypothetical situation, by the way.
Logistical, she's being hypothetical.
I just like, and driving over here, I was like, I literally like, that's my urge right now. And I'm like, at the same time, do I want to give anybody the power to like disturb my energy like that? No, but it's just like a feeling of, it's just annoying.
Our next blind item is about Kim Kardashian, her daughter, Northwest, Hayden Panettiere, and her mother, Leslie. It reads, tell me the difference between the illiterate reality star raising her eldest and how the mom raised the now dead actress. The only one I can think of is that the reality star isn't reliant on her kids' money to live. They're suggesting that Hayden's mom, Leslie, isn't too far off from a Kim Kardashian. This person rates poor North. She's way too young to be used like that, but Kim Kardashian wants and needs to stay relevant. I really thought that she wouldn't be trotted around until she was at least 16. I've said this before, but North gives me Bobby Christina vibes and maybe some of her siblings too as time goes on. It's the unfortunate truth of who her parents are. Kanye's unstable and Kim was raised to only value physical appearance and money. This person rates pretty sad that Bianca seems to be the most stable parental figure that those kids have. This person added that Northwest seemed very affectionate or at least safe with Bianca at the fashion show. I've never seen her like that with her own mom. More recently, Northwest reveals which piercing she really wants to get but isn't allowed to get. What do you mean? You have rules because you've got like your whole face pierced, you've got your fingers pierced, you've got your thighs pierced. I mean, where do they draw the line for a 13-year-old? She claims, I really want to get my bridge pierced, but I'm not allowed to. That is when they go through the cartilage in your nose and they pierce it right here, I believe. Unless they do the skin, but no, I'm pretty sure they go through the cartilage, which, ooh, I'm already getting woozy thinking about it. Now, Kim says that North is allowed to do what she wants to. She claims that she's really mature, a 13-year-old in the sense that she'll be like, Mom, I saw this and I don't really care that if they don't like it, my blue hair or this and that. She's really confident. So it sounds like Kim is ready to just drop the reins, just let her go and act like a full-grown adult, which is going to have crazy consequences.
aren't real, they're fake, they're stick-ons. She probably did them herself. Well, when I was a kid, my parents didn't have a say in what I did. Are you also against people getting their babies' ears pierced? Because that's the same thing. I've never read a more stupid comment section than when it involves a celebrity child parading herself around like a grown-ass woman. By the way, she started doing this when she was 12 years old. It's not just the age on why we shouldn't allow children to do things like this, but look at the damage she is doing to her hands. These scars are never going to go away. Might as well just start getting tattoos because this is literally the same thing. A 13-year-old child is not responsible enough to take care of a piercing properly, which is why her piercings keep rejecting. Not only that, but her anatomy just doesn't allow for it, which is why they're also rejecting. Also has some on her legs that she's covering with band-aids, probably because they're also rejecting.
Jason Momoa. This blind item reads, the underwater actor's drinking is getting out of control. Jason Momoa seems like a big teddy bear, right? Like a sweet guy, but damn, could you imagine him drunk and mad? I would not want to see that. This person writes that steroids and booze are not a winning combination. Steroids, booze, and believing your own press are a downright fatal one. Someone on Reddit said that Jason and his friend Adria went to the liquor store and spent $700 on booze, then went to a bar as soon as he chugged a beer in the store. And it does seem like Jason has a history when it comes to this stuff. I mean, he's admitted to drinking beer for breakfast. This person shared on Reddit that Jason Momoa allegedly showed up drunk to the set of Aquaman dressed as Johnny Depp in an attempt to get Amber Heard fired. Weird. This article reports that Jason was getting ready for Aquaman 2 when the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard court case was in full swing, and it looks like his drunken behavior on set and lobbying for Amber Heard to get fired was a big deal. According to notes obtained by Amber Heard's therapist, Jason was allegedly intoxicated on set, dressed up as Johnny Depp, and tried to get Amber fired. The notes read that the actor was pushing to have Amber fired. Jason wanted her to go. He was late on set, dressing like Johnny. He had all the rings on too. One of Jason's defenders said that Jason works his ass off. He likes to have a beer once in a while like everyone does, but he does not show up drunk to work. The thing is, it's not like Amber Heard told this story. She was subpoenaed to get notes from her therapist, and the therapist's notes ultimately revealed that this had happened to her, and it kind of makes me believe Amber.
I've read that you're a big fan of Guinness. Did you manage to sneak the real stuff into that scene?
No. This guy would never do that. And I have a very funny story which I've never told anyone. Like, I have Hawaiian thick skin. I don't bane out. I'm on some crazy diet. I have water all the time, and then the last 24 hours it's just like a couple ice cubes. So you're just trying to peak for one day, right? And my body wasn't showing up, and it wasn't happening. And I go to my trainer at the time, I go, give me a Guinness. And so right before we did the underwater thing, I cracked 2 Guinness, pounded them, and my body's like, my whole body can see like my veins going like, my muscles start filling up because I'm just so used to having that's its sugar intake. I will not eat a carb all day long. The dog needs a bone, and that bone is some Guinness at the end of the night.
Our next blind item is about clavicular and Peter Thiel. So clavy, it appears that the neck bone streamer hates being confronted in public about his sugar daddy, the guy who wants to end the world, Peter Thiel, probably the most evil gay man in the world, I would think. The way I know stories about Peter Thiel are crazy. I've never seen this man. I've never met this man, but I know so many people who have texted him, talked to him, and I've got some dirt on this guy. The fact that Peter Thiel is funding Clavicular just gives away that the stunts behind looks maxing is just another Pentagon social engineering experiment in transhumanism. Peter Thiel is a Pentagon contractor after all. I used to work at the Pentagon. Everything's getting a little bit too close for home. More recently, Clavicular was seen in Fort Lauderdale, and he got into a fight after somebody confronted him and brought up the fact that he is Peter Thiel's good boy, his little sugar baby. What I find funny is how Clavicular was so defensive about this Peter Thiel connection. I mean, he's trying so hard to act like there isn't any connection here, yet he gets so butthurt when someone confronts him. And I know it's rude to just go up to someone and start blabbing at them, but that's what Clavicular does to everyone. So he gets a little dose of his own medicine, and look at how he reacts.
Peter Thiel's good boy. Peter Thiel's good boy. I know what you do. Just because I exposed you for fucking doing Peter Thiel's dirty work? No, I'm not. I don't do any of that shit. No, I'm not, buddy. I know what you do, bro. You think I'm fooled all this bullshit?
Our next blind item is about Ryan Reynolds, Scarlett Johansson, Blake Lively, and Leonardo DiCaprio. It reads, to be upfront, it is entirely possible that this foreign-born A-list, mostly movie actor, Ryan Reynolds, didn't have this problem with another woman he dated or were married to, but this one permanent A-list actress, Scarlett Johansson, who stars in at least one huge movie franchise, says our actor's inability to achieve an erection was a big part of the failure of their relationship, because remember, Ryan Reynolds was with Scarlett Johansson before Blake Lively. It wasn't so much that he couldn't get it up, even with a triple or quadruple dose of erectile dysfunctional medicines, but it's because he always plays this cocky, full of himself character that he could not handle it. So he would start fights and take work away from home as much as possible just so they wouldn't have the opportunity to be in the bedroom together and facing the elephant in the room. Our actor has said that he was first attracted to his current significant other after having sex with her. That could very well be true, considering his significant other became quite the expert at pegging one of her previous boyfriends. Blake Lively pegging Leonardo DiCaprio? What the hell? Maybe that is why it happened in this case. This person raised, so Blake does have a talent. For kids, he must have been able to get it up at some point. It's a possible combination of something physical and maybe something psychological. I've always felt that Ryan Reynolds treated Scarlett Johansson so badly because she was a more successful actor than he was. Maybe he couldn't get it up because he felt threatened by her, his insecurity, and then he came across Blake Lively, who was never going to be as successful as him, and he got comfortable very quickly. This person writes, so that's where the thinly veiled rage comes from. Ryan and Scarlett started dating in 2009, they got married in 2008, and split in 2010, so their relationship didn't last that long. After their divorce, Scarlett hinted that she may have not been able to know how to handle such a serious relationship. After all, they tied the knot when she was just 23 years old and he was 31. Scarlett said, I feel like I know more now of what I need in a relationship, what I want in a relationship, and I know I have more tools to communicate, not just with my partner, but with myself. In April 2016, Scarlett had hinted to Cosmopolitan that there was some career competition with Ryan Reynolds. She said the logistics of being with another actor are challenging. There has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially with two people's careers going at the same rate. Or even if one is more successful than the other, that also proves challenging. Kind of hinting again that Ryan didn't like that Scarlett was such a big star. I mean, you have to keep in mind too that Ryan went off to go and film this movie with Blake, and he claims that he fell in love with her instantly. I mean, you would have been a married man at this point. This person writes that Ryan is perpetually in relationships and marriages without zero breaks for self-reflection. It doesn't matter if it's Ryan Reynolds or an unknown guy. This is a red flag. I won't be surprised if he moves on from Blake at one point. I mean, especially with her career and her reputation so bad. I mean, I don't think he wants anyone better than him, but I don't think he wants someone to weigh him down. This person says, I saw an interview of Ryan Reynolds on a late night talk show. He literally said when he met Blake, he immediately felt that she was the one, and he was married at the time.
Because for me, my husband started as a friend. He was a good friend for 2 years that was not romantic in any way. And
okay, the whole Blake Lively discourse has me thinking about Blake Lively remembering things. Like how these two met on the set of the Green Lantern right before Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson ended their relationship. Now, Scarlett has insinuated that the relationship ended because he could not handle her career success. Can I show you some footage from Comic-Con? Listen, they might have only been friends, but she is definitely giving the girl that he tells you not to worry about.
And with the ring, Ryan Reynolds.
Felt like this magic amalgamation between Chuck Yeager and Han Solo, and he felt like this classic hero, something that I hadn't seen in a long time on film, a character who can throw a punch, tell a joke, and kiss a girl.
Listen, I'm not saying anything happened, I'm just saying that there was a vibe. And these two would end up officially together shortly after the Green Lantern premiere, which also made me think of The Town with Ben Affleck and Blake Lively. On-set vibes were vibing when he was married to Jennifer Garner. And then there was a photo leak situation, which I'm not going to get into. But if you know, you know.
Our next blind item is about Hayden Panettiere and her mom, this time without the Kardashians in it. This blind item reads, the mom of the dead actress hasn't been able to get any money for an interview, yet she's pitching a documentary which would see her net millions, but probably never mention how she's a stage mom from hell. Again, Leslie is trying to rewrite history and act like she wasn't this god-awful mom that Hayden exposed her as. When I read that she had cut off all contact with her mom, I realized her mom had to be upsetting, difficult, or at least to Hayden not adding to her life. That tracks with the stage mom persona. She pushed her daughter into acting for what? Money, fame, attention, all parts, roles? Imagine anyone else's mom doing this type of interview less than a week after their child dies. OMG, we haven't even finished grieving yet. She was downright scary looking in this interview. She looked unhinged and of course blamed everyone else for her daughter's downfall. Well, Leslie, Hayden's mother, has a message for the haters. She says, I would say to the haters out there, you don't have a right to tell me how I mourn the loss of my second child. That's my domain. Okay. She also noted that she's still processing it and it'll probably hit her later on. Like the feelings will hit her later on. I can't believe that you've got it all together for these interviews in the first place. I just think it speaks to how evil this woman really is.
To the haters out there, you don't have a right to tell me how I mourn the loss of my second child. That's my domain.
What was that moment like for you?
I was numb. I was just numb. I just couldn't feel anything. I still am not grasping this as real. It just doesn't feel real. My mind tells me it's not at times. You know, it's going to be a process. I need a minute, guys.
Oh, save the tears. I mean, you've been in no contact with your daughter for so long. Why are you acting all numb and like you cared about her? Because you never really did. You weren't there for her when she was alive. Now that she's dead and there's all this press, you're running to the cameras. And maybe Leslie is trying to blame her poor relationship with Hayden on Brian. I do agree with her that Brian is a problem. She notes that Brian was with Hayden when she died, that he was a problem. He pawned off a lot of her items. So Brian Hickerson does look sketchy, and I'm glad that if Lisa is going to be talking and barking all this about Hayden, at least try to do some justice by telling investigators to take a deeper look at Brian Hickerson. I mean, I'm sorry, people, this man was arrested multiple times for beating on this girl. I don't think it's far-fetched if he had something to do with her death. Sorry I said it.
You said people don't know the truth about your and Hayden's relationship. What was the truth about your relationship?
I would say Hayden had a very happy life up until she got Heroes at 16. So here she was, the star of a major TV series. But I would say at about 17, I started seeing her going downhill. As she got older, then it wasn't my voice anymore. I wasn't in charge of her choices. I tried to give her the best advice I could. But again, you know, any young person, teen, they want to be liberated. And I get that. I did get that.
Lisa says, although my daughter and I were estranged, it's not for lack of care or love. It was due to the involvement of a toxic individual who I believe led to her death. I think that there's a lot of toxicity in Hayden's life, and there was in Hayden's life. I mean, even we've got Gil King over here talking about Leslie publicly, and you know, Gayle King doesn't have to go and give these statements, but she's choosing to so because she wants to make it very clear that not only Hayden didn't seem like she was in the right headspace, but Leslie is wrong for the way that she's approaching the situation.
When it comes to Hayden, were there any signs when you saw her last time in the studio? I know you like one of the last. I'm not going to say there were signs, but she was clearly still wobbly, and I still thought that she was still working things out. But you know, my heart sank when I heard what had happened to her. Mine too. I mean, we all think that because she was still such a talent and seemed to be on the way. It was just heartbreaking to me, that's all. Now, her mother did respond and say that there was like a certain individual that was kind of like in between their relationship. Did you see that comment that her mother made? No, but when you read the book, you knew that there was something between her and the ex-boyfriend. Right. And many people thought that she had gotten past that. Clearly, she hadn't. But no, I prefer to concentrate on who she was when she was here.
Our next blind item is about Perez Hilton. Oh sure, let's give the visitation back to the gossip guy who scarred his kids for life just a couple weeks ago. What could go wrong? Now, I from my understanding, I don't think he has custodial rights. Maybe he does get visitation, but with a supervisor there. We all know Perez Hilton as the gossip guru who went on to TikTok Live and used a big serrated knife to do you know what. This person writes perhaps it might inspire him to take his recovery seriously. Who knows? From what I've read, he's always been an awful person. It's supervised visitation, and I would believe the kids would want to see him and make sure their dad is okay. Everyone needs to move forward. Visitation is fair. The kids have the right to see their father if they want, and if not, that's their decision. This entire incident is probably the most devastating thing they've ever experienced. What? No, just no. Too soon, even for supervised visitation, in my opinion. Not sure his children, no matter how much they love their father, are capable of fully understanding the gravity of his actions. In my opinion, I think it's okay for the kids to see their dad. I mean, they're raised with this guy. It's all they've ever known. They want to see him and make sure he's okay and alive. I mean, I'm sure it's like a knot in their stomachs. I can't imagine how they feel. Right now, Perez has no access to a cell phone, social media, or the internet. Everyone's focusing on him recovering physically and making sure he receives the mental and emotional care and support that he needs. I mean, he's had severe depression, he's had sepsis, he might have like actual things going on in his brain that he does need treated for. So I'm glad that they're all taking this seriously and he's not just released back home. But we're getting constant updates about this situation. Here's a TikTok from our friend Julie.
Is Perez Hilton disfigured from what he did to himself during his live stream? This is what some media outlets have been reporting, but so far there has been nothing about this from the family at all. They did, however, post another update about Perez saying he remains in hospital and that his team is going to start reposting content on his website. This is our most recent update. To everyone who has reached out, checked in, and kept Perez and our family in your thoughts, thank you. At this time, Perez remains hospitalized and is receiving the medical care he needs. His treatment is continuing in an inpatient setting under the care of a dedicated team of medical and mental health professionals. Now, we know that Perez was admitted for medical health evaluation under the Baker Act in Florida, which means typically that it was an involuntary hold. Either he didn't want to stay or he wasn't able to consent to stay. Perez built his website more than 20 years ago, and it has remained one of the most important parts of his life ever since. Starting this week, his team will begin publishing again, focusing on the day's biggest stories. Whether you have followed Perez from the beginning or only recently started reading, we hope you will continue visiting, reading, and sharing his site. We deeply appreciate your support while Perez focuses on his health and recovery. For now, Perez's health remains the priority as his team keeps the site active and moving forward. Perez recently lost custody of his 3 children. He voluntarily signed custody over to his mother, who's been living with him and his kids for the last 3 years.
Our next blind item is about Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. The pint-sized actor can say whatever he wants, but he can never sit down with his ex because then everyone in the celebrity cult that he's the leader of would revolt. Just for talking about Tom Cruise, who's in this big cult, I really don't think that, I think that he's the major problem in any relationship, let's be real. He should be focusing on his daughter Suri first, maybe try to be a father to her. She just dumped his last name though, so probably not. A recent report also shared that her friends and family warned her about marrying Tom Cruise. People would tell her, this is going to affect your career, you're with one of the biggest movie stars. And she said, you know what, I don't care, I want to be his wife. If it throws away my career, so be it. So it's not even like she's really talking smack about Tom Cruise. She's talking about her first marriage and what she experienced, but it looks like Tom doesn't like that. I guess he would prefer that she got over this need to reference him in this way and feels like it's best to get it out there and I guess sit down with her face to face to hash things out. Again, Nicole, bring security, bring a pew pew or something because he's dangerous in my opinion, of course.
I will forever find the marriage of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman to be one of the most mysterious celebrity marriages of all time. These two were together for 11 years and still have yet to comment on the demise of their relationship all of these years later. The same year Tom Cruise divorced Mimi Rogers is the same year that he married Nicole Kidman. That year was 1990. Nicole was just 23 years old, Tom was 28, and they really seemed madly in love. They even adopted 2 kids together, Connor and Bella. But we don't ever see Nicole Kidman with either one of those kids. And by the time these two got divorced, these were the pictures that made headlines. Paparazzi caught these pictures of Nicole Kidman leaving her divorce attorney's office. This was apparently after she signed those papers. She seemed relieved, happy. She looks like she's singing The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Music. The interesting part is, since Nicole divorced Tom, we have yet to see her with Isabella or Connor. It is pretty known that Connor stayed in the Scientology world and remained close to Tom. However, Bella, on the other hand, we haven't seen recent pictures of her with Tom. And apparently in 2015, Bella got married and didn't invite either parent. Nicole did express her happiness for Bella at the time that this happened. But again, this was years later after we hadn't seen Nicole with her children at all. And many have wondered, has Nicole not been with her children for years because of Scientology? I think the answer is pretty clear on that one. When Nicole finally commented on her marriage, she said, I got married really fast and really young. But I don't regret that because I got Bella and Connor and I did have a fantastic marriage for a long period. But she doesn't see Bella or Connor. And this quote was from 2012, which was many years after their divorce.
And that is it for Blind Item Breakdown. This is our 134th episode. So thank you guys for watching this episode and staying on top of the series. Comment your 134s below. Maybe a little red heart to switch things up. We always do a blue heart. And hopefully I'll have some good news for you guys soon as far as my living situation and what's going on in my life, because it's been the hardest thing ever. Actually, I've got therapy in 10 minutes, so I have to go. So make sure you take care of yourselves today. This is your reminder. Do what you need to do. Go to that therapy session. Have that glass of iced coffee. Drink your water. and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Before I let you guys go, I want to remind you that you can download free cash using my link below, and you'll get a $10 bonus once you complete your first offer. Make sure you guys check it out in the link below.